All right, guys, welcome back. Next day, got the Explorer pulled back in here and backed up. We got to tear the inside of this thing apart so we can run the wiring. Don't know why I picked y'all up off the tripod, but I did. So here we go. To start off with, make sure you got a good view. Yeah. Basically, we got to take the inside of this thing apart. So we'll start by pulling out all the thingies. It's more of them technical terms. So you got the little bed mat thing and then this little cover thing and these little side cover thingies, they all just come right out. They're not attached. So we toss them over there in the floor. Then you got underneath here, I don't know. This is Velcroed on. Come here, have a look at this. I think this is just Velcroed. Yeah, it's just Velcroed on here. This little plate that goes over your spare tire. So that whole thing comes out. And we set it over here aside too. You don't have to pull the spare tire out, I don't believe. We will have to pull this panel out. Put my hand in front of the thing there. Let's get this. I don't know how well y'all can see with the light. Usually it comes out pretty good. Let me get a light so I can see. I think this thing just literally is popped in here with clips. So let's get us a panel popper. I use these little plastic ones. We'll just find us a good place to start, like right here. Yeah. Like there. I think I'm doing this right. Yeah. Put that up there. Kind of got to give it a good jerk. They're pretty stiff. Once you get it coming, they come on out pretty decent. Now, apparently, wonder what that's for. Check this out. It's got some little thingamabobber here. So we'll unplug that and set that aside. Right over here with the rest of the stuffuses. And then, wouldn't it have been something had Ford just put a connector right here? But no, you got to take all this off to get way up here. You see me? Get way up in here to get to the connectors for these things to go in. Or wouldn't it have been nice you just take the taillights out? No. Not now, boys and girls. So, for starters, we're going to have to get in here and point you down here a little bit. There we go. Got to get in there. I use a little pick to go right up under here and pop that out. And there's a bolt right there. I think that's a 7 or an 8. It's 8 millimeter. And 8 millimeter. We're going to set it on the toolbox over here. And I also know these things right here screw in. So I'm going to use a small pair of channel locks. Best advice I can give you is try to get inside. And let me. I can get this one out. There. It's a little hook. Try not to grab it on the hook. Try to grab on the edges of it there, so you don't break it. But this one doesn't look like it's going to be that easy. It's going to be quite angry, it looks like. They're not hard to unscrew. They're just delicate. And all they're for is to hold like a net thing back here. Cargo net doohickey. There we go. We got that one out. Now, I don't know. This one has the speaker in it. I think all that comes out together. I'm not sure. So, does this panel? Yeah, I think this panel down here comes out also by itself. So, yeah. So that comes out, and we'll set it aside. Now, as you're doing this, you may find these little clips flying off everywhere. Keep them. You're going to need them. Put it back. I knew I lost another one that's down there. Okay. Now we got that. And look at all the space up under here Ford could have used. For criminy sakes. And then there's a thingy bobber back here. Don't know what that is. Ooh, I almost didn't even see that one. Let me, pliers right here. It be gentle. I don't know how I missed that one. I got the bolt out right there. I looked at that and knew there'd be a hidden bolt behind it. There's that. Now, you notice there's a panel, little access panel thing here. If you pop that open, it's like a plastic nut that goes out here to your tail light to pop it out, along with some screws up here. We're not actually pulling that out because it gives us no access to anything. No access to nothing. You can pull the front one out up here, the same thing as this one, but I think we can pop this out enough to get us access to the connector up here. And I did say I think. Looks to me. Let's see if I can get my little pry tool up in here. I think this gray part above here pops off on its own. As well. She's in there. Day in the morning. Let me go get my harder panel popper. Get that one out. There we go. And there's a speaker in the top right there. So we'll have to get this connector off. That's just a push in, pull out type deal there. That sun gun didn't want to come out. This little clip over here is in there. Skeeters are flying around. Well, I'm gonna look back here. I think right here. I believe that might be it. All right. I think I found it. I didn't have to tear all that apart up there. It'd be nice if I could get this out a little bit more. But I'm gonna try to shove y'all in there. You can see where that connector is right there. I'm gonna have to get my panel popper in there and pop it loose so I can bring it out this way. Yeah, that's the plug we're going for. You can see the wires here going out to the light. So let me, bending over and getting up in there, kind of a pain in the back. So let me put y'all back over here. And as, just like most of this install, you get to look at my back mostly, in the back of my head. So I'm gonna try get back in there. And I assumed this side was going to be harder because it's got that subwoofer in here. And I use that term subwoofer very loosely. All right. Well, we got it popped loose. Yeah. And this just got a little push socket on the end of it. And you can see, it'd be easier to do it that way. Just a little pop socket right there. You push the little button, pop it loose. That wire goes up to the headlights. This right, headlights to the tail lights. Point you up there where you can see. This one goes out to the tail lights. That's where we're going to tap in. So let's go get a wiring harness. And this big giant ball right here is our wiring harness. Now, you got a green wire. This goes out to the trailer. They give you a lot of, daggone. That's a little over 6 feet worth of wire to get out. So there's this section and this section, and the one with just the green wire goes to the passenger side. The one with the red and the white and all that, that comes over here to the driver's side and taps in. And this is the little module thingy. Beep boop computer stuff. I don't exactly know. So there's that. So now I'm going to try to get up under here. Let's get the light plugged in. Yep. Get way back up in here. Plug all this in. And then got the white wire here. There's our ground. And I'll show you what I'm thinking on the ground. See, we got back up in here and we got those plugged in, and they're going to have to just flop. I'm going to try to stuff them back in here as best as I can. Asbestos. Like that. that wire will have to come down through there. And down here, I have a ground wire, or a body ground. So we're gonna bring the white wire, I'm gonna go behind this. And we're gonna put this ground wire right here on that. That's what we're gonna do. So, y'all grab a seat right there. We're gonna hope that that's an 8mm. Put that right back in. Good and tight. So you can see where I got that in there, kind of nice and neatly. Then I got this black wire. I need to find out what that should be. The power wire that actually powers this thing up. And this, I guess we're just going to leave it hanging back there. I see a spot right here. I may just zip tie that joker up over here. But for now, we got to get this green wire all the way across and over to here. So I get to tear all that apart. And that's going to be interesting because we got all this doobly-doos over here. So I'm not going to put you through the pain of that because basically it's the same thing as this other side, the driver's side. So you know where the connectors are going to be in the same spot. I'm going to run the wire right along this one. I got some zip ties. We'll just zip tie. You're looking at my belly. Upside down. No, you're right side up now. Now you're upside down. GoPro things. Huh? Yeah, we're going to run it along this wire here, run it up in there. And then earlier, like I had said, remember that grommet? That grommet is right back here. We're going to cut a little hole in that. And that's where we're going to run this wire through. So it'll come out. And like I say, we got this little perch thing down here. For now, it'll probably just get zip tied right there or whatever, so we can connect it to the trailer. All right, so let me pause, get this other side tore apart, get that connector on there. I'll bring you back in just a minute or two, or 10 or an hour. I don't know. All right, guys, I'm back. I got back up in there and got this one plugged in. I wanted to make sure I came in to tell y'all, when you pop these panels back in, make sure you pull out your rubber. It's not hard. It's just tedious. I use my fingers, just kind of pull it out a little bit. Like I say, it's not hard. It's just kind of a tedious little thing you got to do. But you do that all the way around. Sometimes it gets easy. Sometimes it gets hard. Anyway, that's all I wanted to say. Let me finish putting that back. Yeah, let me just finish this up right quick. Don't pull too hard because you don't want to pull the seal off of the car. Most of these usually have like a metal clamp inside of them. And if you stretch them, they won't seal back up worth a flip. Oh, one other thing I forgot I wanted to mention. When I came over here and I took out this one and this one and this one, you do not have to remove this one or this one. This one screws into the body panel. These two don't. They have nuts on the back of them. So don't take those out if you're doing this. Same thing over here. There's one here. That's the only one that goes into the body that you have to take out. This one you can leave. This one you can leave. None of this stuff is attached to anything. It just kind of floats out. And this panel, it's got the AC compartment back there. It was a little harder to pull out. So I had to stuff my hand up in there to do it, really. So you wouldn't have seen anything on video. Anyway, yeah, we got that back together again. Let me shoot my bolt back in down here. That'll hold, that holds the panel on there. I'm gonna run this little green wire right along here, and I got some zip ties. Where's my light? So we will actually take some zip ties and zip tie that along there. Try to make it where y'all can see what I'm talking about. Like I say, this handy dandy little kit we got, bought the wiring harness and everything from the U-Haul store. So I mean, it's not a bad kit. I'm sure there's better ones out there, but I'll guarantee you there's worse ones. Like I said, I'm just going to zip tie the green wire up along this cable. Kind of just wherever they've got a zip tie from the factory is where I'll put one. And I'm kind of keeping it on the bottom down there. It's not super important down, you know, where you run it. Just you don't want to smash it or anything like that, because I'm sure it's like everything else on these newer cars. It costs you an arm, a leg, and a newborn child to have it fixed. Well, it would cost an arm and a leg just to have it diagnosed. If you want it fixed, you got to have a child or two. So that's all I'm gonna do with that. Like I say, we're gonna have to pull this grommet right here out, so might as well do that right quick. And that leads to the old great outdoors. And that, what you see right there, is our heat shield. So it might have been smart to run this yesterday. Oh well. Let me clip a hole in this. Got a couple of wires to feed through there, feed through here. And I have to get the car up on jack stands again. So y'all hang tight. Okay guys, I'm back. Kind of got the back end wrapped up-ish. What I did is come up front here. I want to start, well, I did start. I used a piece of just solid wire, green, like out of Romex, not Romex, but like an MC cable or something. I fished it down through the motor compartment here. The battery on these Explorers is under this little cover right here. And they're not super easy to get to. Got little tabs, you just pick them, and it's got a little lip there that goes under there. We're just going to set it up here. And right there's your fuse box. And on the back side back here, you got a clip back here and a clip right here. You just kind of squeeze those one-handed. And then you got one up here. And voila. Your fuse cover comes off. There's your fuse box. How we're going to get into there, I don't quite know yet. I've been looking. She's pretty sealed up, man. There's like some AC lines or something that come through back down here, and this kind of splits slightly, not really. So I don't really know. I don't know if I'm gonna have to drill a hole, maybe come through in between here. I'm not sure. Doesn't look like it's going to be easy. I guess I could have came up through the fender well there and come up this way. I don't know. We'll get it in there one way or another, I'm sure. Anyway, so what I did was I fed that down through there. I taped our power wire. They call this some sort of high heat wire. Don't know if I buy that. But before I get too far, the battery on this thing is on the passenger side. So we want to come over here, and it's kind of the same system over here. A couple little clips, a couple little tabs on each side there, and there's your battery. That does not look like fun to replace, but you can get to the negative terminal. It's right here. So let's go get us a 10mm socket, which I should have right here. And we're going to take the negative terminal off this battery post right here. Just loosen that up. And wiggly, 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 wiggly. I said wiggly, wiggly. Gracious, it's loose. It's loose, but it's tight. I guess that's a good thing. There we go. And we're just gonna kind of stuff it back in here so it doesn't connect to the post. How does... Sorry, I'm banging the mic right up again there, everything. Anyway, so our negative post is disconnected. That way we won't have any power or anything zipping through our circuits. First thing we're going to do is, like I said, I got under here and fed the wire down through the undercarriage. And we came out right here. Like I say, yeah, she sneaks up through there. And what I tried to do is do my best to keep it away from anything, any exhaust. I know the exhaust is on the other side over there, but anything hot. And there's wires that run up through there, as you can see right there. So we're running along those. And we're just going to pull that through here. And meantime, I'm watching it right there. I don't know if y'all can see that on camera. That's the leg of the thing. Right there's the wire. Anyway, we're going to pull it through. And there's our wire right here. And I'm going to pull it right on through, really, as much as I think I need. And then I'm going to run up top and look. Because I don't want to pull too much, but I don't want to be short. So what we're going to do here is prop y'all up. See if I can't prop y'all up. I think what I should do, if I come around here, up along there, yeah, I'm gonna like just tie it off like this. All right, I'm back. GoPro just shut off again. Sames. Anyway, so I pulled this cable tight down through there. I am gonna use the GoPro as a flashlight again. And see the steering column here? We want to make sure we stay clear of that, because that's going to be a really, really bad day. So we're gonna try, I don't know if you can see what I'm doing, to come down under here. And I'm gonna zip tie it to these brake lines right here. So then I got to get underneath it also. So let me grab a few zip ties. Where did we leave the zip ties? Not back here. Over there. This is all the stuff that came with the little kit. I honestly don't know what that is for. Oh, that's double-sided tape to stick your little module thingy on the floor. Anyway, I'm gonna climb underneath, zip tie this up. So that we're not up against anything. There's just not a lot of room under here. So, yeah, there we go. I don't know if y'all can see that or not, but now I know you can't. There. I'm gonna go sticking my hand up in here. There's like a fuel rail or something right here. Transmission cooler. I don't know. Can't see a thing I'm doing. So there's that. Okay. And yeah, voila. She's zip tied up there. I don't know if y'all can see that very well or not. So now what we're going to do is see if y'all can prop up right over here. Come on. We're going to cut up through here as soon as I can find the end of the wire. And I still haven't disconnected this green wire, but I did pull the bolts out, holding this little belly pan thingy-mabobber on. And I'm just going to thread it in here as I get bunches of stuff in my face. That's getting to be a normal thing. We're just going to pull it all through. Try not to make a big giant knot out of it. And I'm leaving that that green wire attached to it, because when we get back to the end of this thing, we're going to need that. And I'm going to make sure I attach this. There's a fuel line right above me right here. So I'm going to attach it right here. I know y'all don't have the best seat in the world for this, but I'm just trying to get it done, really. I'm gonna start way out here where I don't need it, just because I can slide the zip tie along that fuel line. Again, stuff in the face. All right. So now I got the power line, power cable run right here, zip tied there, goes through a little belly pan thing here. And now, ta-da, we could take this, and like I say, I took these out, so I'm gonna lay this in this pan. I call it a belly pan. I don't know exactly what the factory name for it is. But it's a belly pan now, by golly. Now we need some more zip ties. Okay, I got zip ties. Now let me hit this thing here a couple of times. This is what I'm doing. I got this. These are the brake lines, I assume. And I'm just kind of zip tying it to them. I'm going to follow it back all the way back as far as I can. So instead of me just sitting here burning up battery on the GoPro, let me run this back and I'll bring you right back. It won't take but a minute. All right, guys, I got the power wire ran from the front all the way to the back, stuffed up into the cabin area. Let's see if I can get you set up over here. We've got it up through the grommet right there. We just cut a little hole in it, pushed all the wires through it. So the little kit comes with these butt connectors. I'm not a big fan of these. I like to actually like to solder the connections, but as thick as this, I mean, this is like a number 12 wire. So we'd be here all day trying to heat it up to heat shrink it. So we're just going to crimp the wadding out of it. Give us a little twist so we don't go fraying out everywhere. Stuff it in there. Crimp it down. There we go. That's good and tight. And like I say, all this can just be stuffed back in here, really. The kit came with some double-sided tape, but this thing ain't long enough to really go anywhere other than stick it to the carpet. I don't think that's what we want to do. There is a little grommet up, thingamabobber up there. So what we'll actually do, I don't know if y'all can see up in there or not. Probably not. Definitely not now. How about now? Yeah, there's a little grommet right there. I think we'll just take this. We'll run us a zip tie through right here. Wrap all the wires. Well, maybe. Could have got a bigger zip tie, I guess. Yeah, we don't need that. It's good. There we go. And we're not really even going to worry about cutting it off. Now, just because I don't trust a whole lot of things anyway, I'm going to try to lay this over like that. And I'm going to get a piece of duct tape, put over the top of that. Might be a couple pieces. I don't think that anything would come in it. But I can promise you I'll do what I can to not let it happen. There. I mean, this is just a wide open area up in here anyway. So, you know, what the heck? Okay, so we got that on. Now I wanted to show you about these little orange tabs because I picked up quite a few off this driver's side when I pulled this little panel out. I say quite a few. I picked up 3, and they came from right here. But I just wanted to show y'all, in case you didn't know, they just pop back on. Just like that. No big deal. Voila. And then those just pop in these little things right there. So, putting it all back together is just like taking it apart. Let me throw this back together again. Then we're going to go up front. We got to put our fuse in and connect it to our fuse box. So, like I say, give me a minute and throw all this back together again. All right, guys. I got the wire ran up here. I did go down here. I put a zip tie down here by the brake lines. Brought it up. I need to clip that off. This is a motor ground to the body. And I happen to have a couple of these little push pin Christmas tree things that are zip ties. So I zip tied it there. And we went in down here into the fuse box. So what I'm going to do now is trim this off a little bit. Don't need quite that much. So we're going to clip it off right here. And then we need to strip this part out. And then our fuse holder, I already installed the little crimp on this end. That goes in there. And we'll crimp that end. And I got an eyelet on this end. And now I need, I believe that's a 13. All right, yeah, here we are. Yep, 13 millimeter. break it loose. It shouldn't be stupid tight. Kind of tricky to get your finger down in there to it, but you can get it out. Then we'll take our eyelet and put it down in there. And I'll show you in just a second. You kind of want to orientate your eyelet as it goes in. And then try to get your nut back on there. Like that. Let's tighten it up. You want it tight, you don't want it smoked to Alabama. All right, so what I was talking about orientating your little eyelet there is this has got an L bracket built into it, so we want to kind of come out that way. Then we got our little fuse holder. So it comes with a 10 amp fuse. We'll put our 10 amp fuse in there and hope we don't smoke. Put our 10 amp fuse in there and hope we don't smoke. That's in. It's got a nice little cover, and we can kind of tuck this back in here a little bit. You don't want it to where it's impossible to get to, but just tuck back there a little bit. Take your fuse box cover and put it on. And just kind of slip back in there. Gotta kind of see what you're doing. Yes, sir. Now I'll show you all this. Just a second. Watch this. Now, after I snap that cover on, you can see it's got a little bit of a space there where my wire comes through. I want to tuck it down. I don't want it sticking up. If any water gets in here, you don't want it to follow the wire and get in there. So tucking it down will make the water go down past and won't go into your fuse panel. So we'll put our cover back on. That little lip thing has got, it's contoured to it. So you can snap each one of those in, and that covers that up. All right, I'll reconnect the battery here in just a minute. I did want to come back here to show you, I got it all buttoned back up. Everything's back in. I just noticed we're missing a cover on our little PowerPoint thingy-mabobber. But there's our wiring sticking out there. And what I had to do under here is where we came out of the floor here through the grommet. I went up and over the bumper support right here. You can see my finger. And brought it back through here, up around the beam, down, zip tied all my extra and everything up in here to come out to here. That should protect it. Like I say, I'm going to try to find the little bracket thingamabobber that this pokes into. There's also a cover. I just haven't put it on yet. I wanted to show y'all that so you didn't think I just left a 7 foot of wire just hanging out. So that's that. I got to hook the battery back up. Give my blushing bride her vehicle back, and she can tow jet skis till her heart's content. Like I say, I think this weekend we are actually going to drive to Texas and tow a trailer with her car. So that's what she likes. That's what she gets. Anyway, thank y'all for watching. I know this might have been a little bit of a long video. I don't know. I learned quite a bit. These new Explorers, they're something else. Anyway, like I say, I appreciate everybody watching. Please like, subscribe, hit the little bell notification. let you know when I put out a video. I've kind of slowed down on them a little bit. Hopefully we get to picking back up. F100 stuff is coming along. Paint, you know how it goes. Paint is not, bodywork is not a good video. I'm rambling, I'm sorry. Thank y'all for watching. Please like, subscribe. Got a lot of views, man. Getting a lot of views on stuff. Please subscribe. Doesn't cost you a penny. Help support this channel. Get us back in the algorithm. Things moving. Love y'all. Thank y'all so much for watching. What else? Tell your mom and them. And do not forget, you ain't doing something, you ain't doing nothing.